MTG Scoundrels, it's in the cardboard. Ladies and gentlemen, scoundrels of all ages, welcome back to another episode of Modern Weekly. Today on the docket, we got a new mainstay in the format, and we have an old favorite that's managed to stick around now since the printing of MH3. Really just needed to find its footing in Domain Zoo. Starting off with a pregame action of Leyline of the Guild Pact into a cracking of a Marsh Flats, going to 19 here. As you see on the right, Soultrader Combo is the newcomer. And we will see going to 17 here with a Thoughtseize. That is quite the hand of burn there. No second land yet. But probably the right call, taking the Ragavan. That unlocks the rest of the hand. Upkeep and drawing. Flooded Strand and pass. Upkeep, draw. Interesting decision here. There's a Phyrexian Tower. There's a Marionette Apprentice. That'll come with a servo. And that's going to get bolted with the Fabricate on the stack. Looks like using a squirrel token here for the servo. There's another Flooded Strand. That makes this game a lot easier for the domain player. Sometimes they just get stuck on mana, but here we are with two already. Leyline of the Guild Pact out. Don't have to lose any unnecessary life to the Soultrader player. Marsh Flats getting activated here, fetching for another swamp. Now, Soultrader Combo tends to be a deck that splashes green. We may also see some red splash as well. I know some of the original ones love to splash red for sideboard cards like Reign of Gore. And of course, occasionally a Goblin Bombardment as well. But here's a Chthonian Nightmare, which on the stack looks like Orcish Bowmasters is going to respond and kill the creature. That being said, Village Rites is going to sack it. And in the end, drawing two cards and taking two off the Bowmaster. Sometimes you just have to do that in this case. Because, I mean, you want to get the value off of it while you can. And yes, the Orcish Bowmaster and the Orc Army are threats, but you have to do something about it. Get your card advantage while you can. Orcish Bowmaster's coming in with the Orc Army, bringing us to 20 to 11. Tough spot. You're within striking distance here. If there's, there's a Tribal Flames in hand. So you need a blocker of some sort. There's a Bogart Trawler. That'll exile the Domain Zoo player's graveyard. There's a swamp and passing. There's another Bowmaster. That's going to kill the Bogart Trawler. But on the cast, casting the Flare Malice, sacking the Bogart Trawler. Well, actually, it doesn't look like it was on the cast there. It looks like it was just in response to the ETB. So that way it didn't get the third Orc army. Attacking in for 3 here, bringing us to 20 to 8. Domain Zoo here, stuck on 2 lands, but it looks like it might pan out for him. A lot of mana. But you're within striking distance. If they hit 1 land and have Lightning Bolt Tribal Flames in hand, or really, you need a blocker so that way you don't just get hit for 3 on the ground and 5 with the Tribal Flames you know about. There's a Gravecrawler. That doesn't block. However, Chthonian Nightmare. Bringing back a Marionette Apprentice. Should still be 1 energy floating here. We also know there's a Bone Crusher Giant in hand as well for the Zoo player. Bone Crusher Giant becoming a even more played card with the prevalence of the One Ring. Damage can't be prevented is some powerful text. And we will see Chthonian Nightmare. No. We will see Warden Soultrader. And there's the Bone Crusher Giant. Looks like the Warden Soultrader player deciding what they want to do. Looks like they're going to go ahead and let it resolve because they think that the biggest thing here is preserving what's left of their life total. And mana isn't that much of an issue, but that treasure could be relevant. Losing 1 more life doesn't necessarily, well, could make math awkward. There's the Lightning Bolt. That'll kill the Warden Soultrader. Taking 3 here. That's alright. So you're dead to Tribal Flames. Unless you can win. Putting a Gravecrawler in the bin. Alright, there's a Chthonian Nightmare. Oh, that makes the math awkward. There's a Stubborn Denial. Paying the 1. Should be 4 energy, but that's alright. Magic's tough to play, ladies and gents. So we're going to sack the creature to Chthonian Nightmare. Bring back the Marionette Apprentice. Alright, ping them for 1. Make 2 mana. Alright, there's a Stitcher supplier. Ooh, missing a trigger. Gotta remember the trigger, but there's the tribal flames that we all knew about. There really wasn't a lot going there at the end. Game 1, going to Domain Zoo. Thank you all so much for watching us here at MTG Scoundrels. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. Be a friend, tell a friend. Of course, we'd like to shout out our new sponsor, Warden Games, who have been so friendly in letting us host our matches here at their store and record as well. So thank you so much to Warden Games. You can find the link to their TCG Player storefront in the description below, as well as a link to their store website for events and such. Definitely check them out. And also in that description, you can find deck lists for the individual decks played in each of our matches, in this case Domain Zoo and Soultrader, in the description. And check out our friends over at Arcane Artistry, who make beautiful food, clue, and treasure tokens, and happens to be playing the Domain Zoo list today. Link to their Etsy in the description. And their art is on the playmat that you see here today as well. Go to their store, let them know that you want a playmat, and they might start producing a bunch of them. And of course, a shout out to our buddy Sean, who's done the new art for our channel. Sean, of course, is open to more art projects here in the future, so you can check out their email in the description. Loved everything that they've produced for us. So going more into the gameplay here, Domain Zoo probably bringing in a certain amount of graveyard hate, but I don't know how much you really want to change your deck list from what you got. In a matchup against a deck that really has to control its life total to combo off, you can actually expect that, double Tribal Flames makes the deck kind of hard to play with. So you're going to try to control the Domain Zoo's life total as much as you can, while not taking too much on your own end. Probably a certain amount of enchantment removal coming in. And maybe a couple of pieces that would deal with a flyer like Scion of Draco. So, Haywire Might for recurable removal for things like Leyline, or if Rest in Peace is played. Because Domain Zoo only really runs 2 Flages. So boarding those out in this matchup, not too big of a deal. And Pick Your Poison, not too bad here either. Both players shuffling up, getting ready for game 2. And these games can be quick. All right, looking at 7s. Domain going to 6. Interesting how the format's kind of turned out as of late. If you've noticed, it's really just been a little slog of just figuring out how do you beat these Boros energy decks, as they are the most prevalent. So you'll see a lot of lists just sideboarded specifically, or building their sideboard specifically to take care of them. And then hopefully having a game plan for Eldrazi and Frogtide in its many forms, though Froculus becoming more of a deck lately, with of course Oculus from the new set being played. Who knew Unearth would become one of the most played cards in the format? Starting off pregame with a Leyline of the Guild Pact. Here's a Swamp into a Thoughtseize. Well, the obvious answer here is you get rid of the Scion. But Damping Sphere doesn't help. And neither does that Tribal Flames. Wooded Foothills Pass. There's a Raucous Theater. There's the red splash we talked about. That'll Surveil. Putting the land into the bin. Into the second Thoughtseize. There's Damping Sphere, Bowmaster's Tribal Flames. There might be a world where you just let him have the Damping Sphere, but taking it's not bad either. You can probably control your life total slightly better if you take the Tribal Flames there, but really just depends on what you have in hand. Here's a fetch off the Wooded Foothills. Finding a lush Portico. Yes, even green-white Surveil lands getting played these days. Surveil is just so good. Keeping it on top, drawing. There's a land. Gosh, it looked like a second Tribal Flames too. Well, sometimes 5 damage to the dome is the best you can do. So there you are. That's just going to make comboing that much harder. There's Chthonian Nightmare, making some energy. No threats yet, though. That's a tough spot to be in. There's another Tribal Flames. That'll put you to 6. End step, going to 5. Dangerous territory here if the Zoo player finds a third Tribal Flames off the top. Or even finding a land, Bone Crusher Giant, and having a Lightning Bolt. But we know about the Orcish Bowmaster in hand, so that's a little tougher. Bidding the Phyrexian Tower. That's a Warden Soultrader. And of course passing here. Drawing for turn. passing. Warden Soultrader getting in. Zoo going to 16. Follow up, second Warden Soultrader. And a pass. Gotta appreciate those old borders. Arid Mesa getting cracked here. Probably finding another surveil land if there is one. But in some ways just thinning the deck. Okay, finding a plains. There's an Orcish Bowmaster. Pinging the Soultrader player. Saying go. There's a Fatal Push. The only creature's Fatal Push doesn't deal with in the domain list really is the Scion. So not a bad call there. Attacking him with Warden Soultrader. Bring us to 12-4. Instep, Bone Crusher Giant. 12-2. Holding on for dear life. One mana. There's a Leyline Binding. Going to target the Warden Soultrader. Orc Army getting in for one. This is about as close as you can cut it. There's a Gravecrawler. And a pass. Might have been interested. Well, no, there's not really anything in that graveyard that's going to help here. And another pass. No burn spell off the top. There's the Marionette Apprentice. Attacking him for 2 with a Gravecrawler. Bringing us to 10-1. The combo would be assembled here if it wasn't for the fact that the Soultrader was down to 1 life. And there's the Bone Crusher off the top. That'll do it. Yeah, oh wow, there's even a Flage there. Just didn't see the 3rd land. And there you have it. Game, set, match going to Domain Zoo. Thank you so much for watching us here at MTG Scoundrels. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. Be a friend, tell a friend. Definitely subscribe to us for more of the modern format. And we will see you all next week.